Chapter 50. Yang Feng asked, I remember that you were analyzing dragon blood elixir. Would simultaneously analyzing 2 elixirs affect the progress of the analysis? 3796 said, Not at all. I've already manufactured another super chip. Simultaneously analyzing 2 elixirs won't affect the progress of the analysis. A self-destruct device has already been installed on the other super chip. As long as it leaves my control for a second, then it will self-destruct. Then let's upgrade my soul aptitude now. Yang Feng took out a bottle of blue mirage, pulled out the cork and poured the blue mirage into his mouth. Once the blue mirage entered Yang Feng's mouth, it started to squirm, as if he had swallowed a huge worm. A beautiful woman's moan was transmitted from within Yang Feng's body. It hurts. Bursts of acute pain directly spread from within Yang Feng's body, making his brain feel as if it was about to explode. He fell to the ground, struggled in pain for a good while, and finally fainted from the pain. The mysterious life force field started to strengthen the host's physical constitution. The probability of acute pain threatening the host's life is 9%. The pain nerves of the host will not be severed. The strengthening continues. Lines of information flashed above Yang Feng's eyeglasses. Not knowing how long had passed, Yang Feng finally faintly woke up. It stinks. Yang Feng asked as soon as he woke up. A stench was emitted from within his body. He took a careful look and saw that every inch of his body was gushing with oily black smelly dregs. Shui's sweet voice came from the side. The bath water is ready. Good. Yang Feng directly got up and entered the bathroom with large strides. After cleaning the layer of oily black smelly dregs on his body, Yang Feng directly entered the bathtub filled with hot water. Soaking in the comfortable hot water, he immediately ordered, Scan my body. Yang Feng, basic attributes, Strength 1. 1. Agility 1. 2. Physique 1, Spirit 1. Blood meridians, Earth's waste. Soul aptitude, Inferior level 1. General evaluation, classified as a level 1 life form. Evolution potential, small. Yang Feng's eyes flashed with a whiff of excitement. He sincerely praised, worthy of being an elixir worth 5,000 magic stones. The effect is really great. Yang Feng practiced Magic Notes Titan for 10 days before all attributes except Spirit Force increased by 0.1. But during those 10 days of cultivation, he had also drunk a large amount of recovery water to be able to cultivate so quickly. Moreover, the further he cultivated, the more difficult it would be to increase his attributes. That bottle of Blue Mirage potion had greatly improved his physical fitness. It was simply heaven-defying. If this Blue Mirage potion were to appear on Earth, any bottle would definitely sell for a sky-high price. Yang Feng said, Analyze my body and work out the best cultivation method. Begin the analysis. Start modeling. The complete analysis will take 30 seconds. Countdown starts at 30. The host's current physical fitness can take a bottle of Blue Mirage potion every other day, and at the same time cultivate the Magic Notes Titan to strengthen the effects of the potion. After 100 days, it is estimated that the host's soul aptitude will be promoted to superior level 2. The physical constitution will directly break through the mortal limits and promote to a level 1 apprentice warlock. Yang Feng's eyes flashed with a whiff of gratification. The means of warlocks are really unpredictable. If I didn't have the blue enchantress potion, I would never be able to break through to the night level. But as long as I have enough Blue Mirage potion, then I can easily break through and become an apprentice warlock. The feeling of having sufficient resources is really good. Originally, according to NR 3790 SIXS analysis, Yang Feng practicing the night-level cultivation method Thunderox would be unable to promote to a night-level expert in his lifetime. But now, as long as he has a large amount of Blue Mirage potion, then he can directly promote to a level 1 apprentice warlock within 100 days. This is the means of warlocks. This year's students were altogether divided into 20 classes. Each class had more than 50 students. Yang Feng and Shui were both assigned to class 10. Yang Feng and Shui entered the classroom. Gazes brimming with complexity were shot from the classroom and concentrated on the two of them. Although Yang Feng's appearance was ordinary, but he was the only successor of the extremely powerful Steel City. With a single sentence, he forced Ban Tanya to his death, making the students of Class 10 endlessly fearful. But Shi Shui possessed a peerless appearance and also a natural charm, naturally attracting the gazes of everyone in Class 10. Gars took the initiative to walk over and said with a smile, "Yang Feng, what a coincidence, we're in the same class." "What a coincidence!" The corners of Yang Feng's mouth curved slightly, his eyes flashed with a whiff of a smile, his gaze fell on the 4 youngsters behind Gars. Among the 4 youngsters behind Gars, the 2 young ladies were respectively Bella and Irene. The 2 youngsters were respectively Luke and Leo. Gars, Luke and Leo all had inferior level 4 soul aptitudes, Bella had intermediate level 4 soul aptitudes and Irene had superior level 4 soul aptitudes. Bella was a petite girl with short blue hair and an ordinary appearance. Irene was a tall, sexy and well-developed young lady with a rather charming appearance. Including Gars, the 5 of them were the youngsters that Yang Feng had rescued in the Hunting Tooth Wilderness. After a series of polite greetings, the relationship between the 2 parties at once became a lot closer. Gars kept Yang Feng guessing and said somewhat meaningfully, "Yang Feng, we're really lucky to be able to enter Class 10. Yang Feng asked curiously, "Lucky?" Gars gave a somewhat wretched and mysterious smile and looked towards the classroom's entrance. "Hehe, you'll soon know." Yang Feng followed Gars' gaze and looked towards that direction. With a height of about 1.76 meters, wearing a silver low-cut warlock's chongpao that exposed her legs, her twin peaks almost bursting out of her clothes, she had a head of bright and smooth golden hair like the sun, delicate and smooth silk-like skin, beautiful and sexy facial features, and her whole body exuded a sexy charm. She looked to be about 23 or 24 years old, she carried a powerful aura and gracefully walked into the classroom. So beautiful! A beauty capable of causing the downfall of a city and a state. Yang Feng inhaled a mouthful of cold air, his eyes flashed with a touch of a scorching color. Caucasians generally have coarse skin. That giant stone city's #1 beauty, Miss Sissy, also had very bad skin. She completely relied on cosmetics to conceal her many defects. But that peerless beauty that stepped into the classroom didn't have such defects. She didn't even wear makeup. Obviously, she was a formidable official warlock. The students of Class 10, regardless of gender, were deeply attracted by that peerless beauty. Their eyes revealed a scorching color. Eunice revealed a trace of a sweet smile. "I'm Eunice, also your Class 10's teacher. Now I'll explain to you the rules of studying here." Chapter 51. First, when the teacher is speaking, you have to keep quiet, otherwise you'll be expelled from school. Eunice gave a faint smile, an incomparably formidable life force diffused from her body, shrouding the entire classroom. So strong. Level 1 warlocks are really formidable. Yang Feng was pressured by that terrifying life force, as if he suddenly saw a terrifying and savage behemoth. A touch of trembling and fear welled up within his body. The Mechanical Legion was able to kill an official level 1 warlock. That was because the Mechanical Legion was sufficiently formidable. But Yang Feng himself was very weak. This was the first time he truly felt the might of a level 1 warlock. That was an existence on a completely different level from mortals. At this moment, the level 1 secret treasure green heart hanging from Yang Feng's neck at once blossomed with traces of green radiance. Only then did he free himself from that heavy pressure and return to normal. In the entire classroom, apart from Yang Feng, only Shi Shui easily withstood the pressure from Eunice's life force. Eunice's gaze also swept Yang Feng's duo with a glance. Her gaze stopped on Shi Shui's body for a good while. A touch of extraordinary splendor flashed past her beautiful eyes. Eunice's formidable life force withdrew. Only then did all the students present breathe a sigh of relief, their bodies drenched in sweat. Some of the male students who originally had bad intentions also had cold sweat trickling down their backs. They didn't dare to give Eunice a glance. "I won't say any more nonsense. You have to remember, only with a formidable body can a formidable spirit reside. Warlocks not only need a lot of knowledge, they also need a formidable body. Vice versa, in addition to a formidable body, you also need a wealth of knowledge. You have to obtain an outstanding grade in the following subjects, otherwise don't even think of entering the inner court. Continent's common language. Basic divine language. Basic dragon language. Basic fiend language. Basic elven language. Basic plane studies. Basic mathematics. Basic geometry. Basic biology. Basic botany. Basic elemental studies. Tyrannid subcontinent's modern history. My time is very precious, apart from during class. Don't ask me any questions. Only if you're willing to pay magic stones. You can ask me a question about a basic subject for 10 magic stones. The class schedule has already been sent to you, you can study according to it. Alright, you can disperse. After Eunice finished speaking, she turned around and left the classroom like a queen. This is even more irresponsible than a university. Yang Feng looked at Eunice's back and was somewhat speechless as he thought. The following days also confirmed Yang Feng's thoughts. Warlock College and Talia's teachers were basically all incomparably formidable official warlocks. They all came and went in a hurry, not allowing anyone to ask questions. Basically, after they finished their lectures they would leave, not paying the slightest attention to the students. However, what was different from Earth's universities was that, in this Warlock College and Talia, all the students were eagerly absorbing knowledge and studying hard. No one dared to be the slightest bit negligent. The opportunity to enter Warlock College and Talia to study was extremely hard to come by. Once this opportunity was missed, then those students would regret it for the rest of their lives. Yang Feng also seemed to have returned to his high school days, attending classes everywhere during the day. After attending classes, he would directly go to the public library and use the microchip to record all the books in the library into the database, categorizing and storing them. Warlock College and Talia's public library had an extremely large collection of books. Apart from books related to warlock cultivation, the rest of the books related to politics, economics, military affairs, literature, human geography and other various fields were all available. However, Yang Feng investigated for a long time. The information related to the 8 great warlock dynasties as well as the main continent was still very sparse. Obviously, the information related to the main continent was classified as extremely valuable information and wasn't placed in the public library. 5 days later, outside of Yang Feng's dormitory's door suddenly sounded a knock. A mechanical bladed troop stepped forward and opened the door. Outside the door stood an approximately 18 or 19-year-old man, dressed in a gray pow, with a head full of brown hair and a rather handsome appearance, as well as an approximately 14 or 15-year-old beautiful young lady with a height of 1.73 m, a pair of cantaloupe-sized twin peaks, a blue ponytail, a gorgeous appearance and brimming with youthful vigor. Yang Feng swept the two with a glance, his eyebrows creased slightly as he said, "Who are you?" "I'm Titania Principality's Sanger clan's first successor, Felix. This time I came to sincerely apologize to you, Steel Lord's sole successor, Yang Feng. This is our Sanger clan's sincerity." The blue-haired man gave a slight smile, took out a box and opened it. Inside the box was the previously extremely unbridled and arrogant severed head of Bantanya. The severed head of Bantanya was brimming with fear, resentment and despair. Felix smiled as he took out a slave contract and handed it to Yang Feng. "That idiot Bantanya offended your dignity. Our Sanger clan has already killed him. We hope to appease your anger. This is Bantanya's sister Judy. She's our gift to you. Starting from today, she's your slave." The busty young lady Judy's complexion paled, she clenched her fists, her beautiful eyes flashed with a whiff of despair, yet she remained silent. Sure enough, strength is justice, strength is the truth. Yang Feng looked at the gorgeous young lady with a sexy figure Judy, his eyes flashed with a whiff of peculiarity. These past few days, Yang Feng had already thoroughly inquired about Sanger clan's circumstances. Sanger clan was a warlock clan with several hundred years of inheritance. At present, the only warlock in the clan only had the strength of an intermediate level 1 warlock. Sanger clan didn't even have a warlock pagoda. Its foundation couldn't even compare to Black Cottage. Such a small level 1 warlock clan, As long as it mobilized its mechanical legion, then Yang Feng could easily exterminate it. Obviously, Sanger clan was also very clear about this point. Not only did it immediately take the initiative to offer Bantania's severed head, it even offered his sister as a gift to Yang Feng, in order to avoid the calamity of extermination. Although Southern States Coalition was controlled by Warlock College and Talia, but there were also countless internal conflicts for the sake of benefits. From time to time, some small and weak Warlock clans would be inexplicably wiped out. Sanger clan didn't want to be wiped out for no reason at all. Although there were a lot of elites in Warlock clans, but there were also a lot of idiots. Bantania, that idiot, thought that Yang Feng wouldn't be able to act against him in Warlock College and Talia, but never would he have thought that Yang Feng would directly force his clan to personally deliver his severed head. Chapter 52. Yang Feng carefully sized up Judy beside Felix, and his eyes flashed with a whiff of appreciation. This Judy from Sanger clan had a sexy and fiery figure at a young age, a gorgeous appearance and brimming with youthful vigor. She was a rare beauty. Her appearance and temperament could be compared to that of Fernandro clan's third successor, Jessica. In the entire Class 10, there wasn't a single girl that could compare to her. Judy, basic attributes, Strength 1. 3. Agility 1. 4. Physique 1. 1. Spirit 1. 2. Blood meridians, human. Spirit aptitude, inferior level 4. General evaluation, classified as a level 1 life form. Felix, basic attributes, Strength 6. 3. Agility 6. 2. Physique 6. Spirit 7. 2. Blood meridians, human. Spirit aptitude, inferior level 5. General evaluation, classified as a level 5 life form. Yang Feng's mind moved. The glasses directly launched a secret scanning ripple and scanned Judy and Felix's physical conditions. Yang Feng didn't dare to launch the glasses' scanning function against an official warlock. Otherwise, once the other party got angry and casually slapped him to death, he wouldn't even have a place to cry. A warlock's dignity couldn't be violated. Even if a mortal like Yang Feng was Steel City's sole successor, as long as he crossed the line and infringed upon a warlock's interests, then the other party would very likely pinch him to death. Without 100% certainty, Yang Feng didn't want to risk his life by scanning a warlock. This gift is very good. Yang Feng received Judy's slave contract book and casually put it aside as he said with a smile. Felix saw that the slave contract book was accepted. His heart slightly relaxed. He once again took out a box and opened it, revealing a bottle of transparent and colorless elixir and 5 mid-grade magic stones. This is Mermaid Tears elixir and 500 magic stones. These 500 magic stones are a small token of our Sanger clan. Please accept it. Yang Feng received the bottle of Mermaid Tears elixir, pulled the cork and took a look. Once the cork was opened, a strange force field brimming with sorrow gushed out from within the elixir. Yang Feng seemed to see a beautiful and moving mermaid princess, pitifully weeping. The mermaid princess, as if coming out of a fairy tale, was extremely beautiful and enchanting. As soon as he saw her, he felt as if he was deeply attracted, unable to extricate himself. A wave of sadness gushed out from his heart, and tears streamed down his face. Cough! At this moment, Felix coughed lightly and a weak spirit ripple pierced Yang Feng, allowing him to wake up from the illusion. What an amazing elixir! Yang Feng was startled, and immediately covered the mermaid tears with the cork. Many of the potions refined by warlocks possessed mysterious and powerful powers. Some top alchemists could even use a variety of medicines to imitate the effects of powerful spells. However, there were very few alchemist warlocks who used potions in battle. This was because every kind of potion that could simulate the effects of powerful spells was very expensive. Using potions in battle was equivalent to burning a lot of magic stones. No one would do that except for the wealthiest top potioneering warlocks. Among the elixirs refined by warlocks, many of the elixirs would instead be highly toxic if taken without meeting the conditions. Just like Yang Feng's dragon blood elixir, with his current mortal physique, so long as he drank a mouthful, then the dragon blood elixir would burn his blood dry and he would die. Yang Feng calculated in his mind, this mermaid tears elixir, I need to at least promote to a level 1 apprentice warlock before I can take it. Felix handed over a palm-sized crystal box to Yang Feng and said enthusiastically, Yang Feng, I'm currently a level 2 apprentice warlock. If there's anything you don't understand in your studies, then feel free to ask me. This is a communication magic soundbox. So long as you select my name and click it, then you can contact me through this communication magic soundbox. This communication magic soundbox's power source is magic stones. One magic stone is enough to support 10,000 hours of communication. However, this communication magic soundbox is only a level 0 secret treasure. Its communication range is only 3,000 kilometers. Beyond 3,000 kilometers there's no signal. Isn't this a magic version of a mobile phone? But this magic version of a mobile phone only has a communication function. Yang Feng received the communication magic soundbox and fiddled with it for a while. He was somewhat speechless as he thought. Felix very enthusiastically chatted with Yang Feng for a while. Only after a good while did he leave in satisfaction. Xianxia threw herself into Yang Feng's embrace like a kitten. Her jade-like arms embraced his neck. Her coquettish eyes were like silk as she said coquettishly, Gidge, I still lack a toy, no, a maid. How about letting her be my maid for a while? I'll definitely properly teach her how to be a qualified maid for Gidge. Good. She'll be your maid for the time being. Facing Xianxia's offensive coquettishness, the mortal Yang Feng was somewhat unable to resist her natural charm. He could only reluctantly and carefully push her away and agree to her request. Yang Feng currently only wanted to promote his strength to the level 1 apprentice warlock level as soon as possible. Thank you, Gidge. Xianxia cheered, hugged Yang Feng and kissed him, then pulled the somewhat flustered Judy and directly left his room. Yang Feng strongly suppressed his desire provoked by Xianxia, threw the mermaid tears elixir to the robot beside him and said in a deep voice, immediately analyze this elixir. That robot pulled out the mermaid tears elixir, countless mechanical tentacles extended inside. Initiating the elixir analysis. Carrying out the feasibility analysis. The elixir can be analyzed and synthesized. Initiating the model analysis. Analysis progress at 0.1%. With the current computing power, it's estimated that after 45 days the elixir can be completely analyzed. A 3796 quickly fed back a series of information. Yang Feng only then slightly heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, this way I can have an alchemical elixir that can improve the soul aptitude. The Shi clan's evolution system and the Warlock's evolution system are completely different. NR 3790 SIXS analysis function isn't able to analyze any elixir, of course, along with the continuous improvement of NR 3790 SIXS database, its analysis function will also continuously strengthen. Some elixirs that are currently unable to be analyzed, along with its continuous evolution, can also be slowly analyzed. After the mermaid tears elixir can be analyzed, this also means that Yang Feng's soul aptitude can be promoted to level 3 or level 4 in the future. Thus, he has the possibility of promoting to an official warlock. The following days, Yang Feng immersed himself in learning. Every day he hungrily and thirstily studied all kinds of knowledge. Along with the continuous consumption of blue mirage, he can clearly feel his physical constitution strengthening every day. At the same time his learning ability also continuously strengthened, his spirit also became better. Chapter 53. Time elapsed, 100 days passed in a flash. Yang Feng sat cross-legged in the dormitory's practice room. He slowly opened his eyes. A formidable fluctuation of life slowly spread from his body. Yang Feng's eyes flashed with a whiff of joy, his mind moved. I finally promoted to a level 1 apprentice warlock. Scan my body. Yang Feng basic attributes strength 3. 7 agility 3. 5 physique 3. 6 spirit 4. 2 blood meridians, earthling waste. Spirit aptitude, superior level 2. General evaluation, classified as a level 4 life form. Yang Feng thought somewhat regretfully, promoting to a level 1 apprentice warlock in 100 days, this result can be considered as outstanding, although it's still a bit lacking compared to those geniuses. An apprentice warlock's physical constitution is equivalent to a knight rank expert. Moreover, their spirit force is by far higher than that of a knight rank expert. Wanting to promote to an apprentice warlock isn't that simple. Among the students who entered Warlock College Antalya at the same time as Yang Feng, only 20+ students with superior level 5 spirit aptitudes and above were promoted to level 1 apprentice warlocks within 100 days. Fernandro clan's genius Jessica only spent 15 days to promote to a level 1 apprentice warlock. But before she entered Warlock College Antalya, she already possessed a high-level warrior's physical constitution. That's why she could promote to a level 1 apprentice warlock within 15 days. Illuminate. Yang Feng pointed with his finger. A sphere of radiance suddenly lit up in front of him, illuminating the entire room incomparably bright. Illuminate is the simplest level 0 spell. It's the easiest way to test the promotion to a level 1 apprentice warlock. As long as one is able to cast Illuminate, this level 0 spell, it means that the caster possesses the lowest level of casting ability, promoting to an apprentice warlock, taking the first step towards surpassing mortals on the formidable warlock path. The corners of Yang Feng's mouth curved slightly. His mood was very carefree. After being promoted to an apprentice warlock, he can feel his body brimming with power. It's completely different from his previous sub-healthy body. Yang Feng evaluated his battle prowess. With my current strength, even if I don't use a gun, I can still easily kill a low-level warrior. But if I were to encounter a knight rank expert, then I wouldn't be the other party's opponent. Yang Feng, this apprentice warlock, is a fake apprentice warlock who continuously ate elixirs. He had not gone through rigorous combat training, nor had he experienced life and death battles, so his combat ability was very poor. A lot of second-generation apprentice warlocks who took elixirs had battle prowess similar to his. Although Yang Feng was also practicing basic swordsmanship, basic saber arts and basic fighting arts, but even with the chip's assistance, within a short period of time, his actual combat strength definitely couldn't compare to those experts who had promoted to the knight rank through bitter cultivation. I can now pass the test and join the inner yard. That's the starting point for warlocks. Yang Feng got up and left the room. Warlock College Antalya's apprentice warlock's comprehensive rank evaluation room, there were 2 delicate and pretty young ladies sitting at the front desk. A beautiful girl with short blue hair, about 16 or 17 years of age, and wheat-colored skin was full of youthful vigor. She complained to another beautiful girl who looked about 18 or 19 years of age, with long brown hair, and seemed to be more gentle and quiet. "Annie, it's so boring here. I haven't seen anyone for a long time. If it wasn't for the salary of 1 magic stone a month, I wouldn't have come. Can you put down the spell book in your hands and have a good chat with me?" Annie put down the spell book in her hands. Her eyes flashed with a whiff of worry. She sighed faintly and said, "Ina, we don't have much time. After entering the inner yard, if we're unable to promote to a level 3 apprentice warlock within 6 years, then we'll have to leave the college. I don't want to go back and listen to my family's arrangements, become a tool for marriage, and casually marry a person from another warlock clan." The competition in Warlock College Antalya was extremely intense. Once you enter the inner yard, if you're unable to promote to a level 3 apprentice warlock within 6 years, then you'll have to directly graduate and leave the school. Those outstanding seedlings who are able to promote to a level 3 apprentice warlock within 6 years, then they'll receive attention and can continue to study in Warlock College Antalya. The college will also pour more resources into their cultivation. Annie had already entered the inner yard for nearly 4 years, and had just recently promoted to a level 2 apprentice warlock. Wanting to promote to a level 3 apprentice warlock within the remaining 2 years was practically impossible. The enormous pressure forced her to make the best use of her time to study all the time. When Ina heard that, her pretty complexion changed. She said somewhat weakly and bitterly, "To promote to a level 3 apprentice warlock within 6 years, how could it be that simple? Only Fernandro clan's Jessica, Bond clan's Ken's, Mazad clan's Ren, These geniuses with spirit aptitudes as high as level 6 only then would have absolute certainty in promoting to a level 3 apprentice warlock within 6 years. For us students with spirit aptitudes of only level 4, wanting to promote to a level 3 apprentice warlock within 6 years is really too difficult. When Annie heard that, she also gave a slight sigh. Just at this moment, Yang Feng entered the appraisal room. Ayane's face at once surged with a touch of a professional smile. "Hello, this is Warlock College Antalia's Apprentice Warlock's Comprehensive Appraisal Room. May I ask if you're here to be appraised as an apprentice warlock?" Yang Feng said with a slight smile. "That's right. I'm Yang Feng." "What? You're Yang Feng? Steel City's sole successor, Yang Feng?" Aina was immediately gobsmacked. Her eyes flashed with a touch of astonishment. The professional smile on Annie's face also flashed with a touch of astonishment. Steel City's sole successor, Yang Feng's spirit aptitude was only inferior level 1. This information was known by practically the entire Warlock College Antalya. According to common sense, it was practically impossible for people with this kind of spirit aptitude to promote to an apprentice warlock in their lifetime. Now that Yang Feng came to be appraised as an apprentice warlock, it was simply inconceivable. Yang Feng said faintly, "That's right." Aina apologized towards Yang Feng. "I'm very sorry, I forgot myself. Please cast a level 0 spell." Illumination. Yang Feng pointed with his hand and a sphere of radiance flickered in front of him. Aina nodded and said, "It's indeed a level 0 spell. Please show me the continent's common language. Basic divine language. Basic dragon language. Basic fiend language. Basic elven language. Basic planes. Basic mathematics. Basic geometry. Basic biology. Basic botany. Basic elemental studies. Turandot subcontinent's modern history transcript." Those basic subjects mainly focused on memory ability. Yang Feng had the smart glasses, this great cheating tool, and he easily obtained an outstanding grade in all the subjects. Aina carefully examined the transcript produced by Yang Feng and said with a slight smile, "Please wait a moment." Before long, Aina handed Yang Feng a set of gray robes with a copper thread. This apprentice warlock's robe has a level 0 dirt removal spell enchanted on it. It's worth at least 300 gold coins. After promoting to a level 1 apprentice warlock, you'll get one for free. Chapter 54. Any alchemy items related to warlocks are outrageously expensive. That apprentice warlock's Chang Pao doesn't have any defensive capabilities and doesn't look very beautiful or gorgeous. It's at least 300 gold coins. Ordinary people simply can't afford it. Anya suddenly said, "Yang Feng, if you really want to go further on the warlock's path, I recommend you to read a book, Soul Aptitude and Warlock's Path Choice." Yang Feng said with a faint smile, "Then give me a copy of Soul Aptitude and Warlock's Path Choice and all level 0 spell books." Black Cottage also has a lot of level 0 spell books. But Black Cottage's spell books definitely can't compare to Warlock College Antalya's spell books. Now that Yang Feng is rich, he basically doesn't need to worry about magic stones. Ayane's pretty face welled up with a touch of redness. Her voice at once became a lot gentler. Soul Aptitude and Warlock's Path Choice greater than 500 magic stones per book. Level 0 spell books are 20 magic stones per book. Now there are 752 level 0 spell books. That's a total of 11,940 magic stones. Ordinary apprentice warlocks are generally very stingy. They basically buy spell books one at a time. Moreover, they specifically pick those spell books that are useful to them. They basically won't buy extra spell books. Those apprentice warlocks with the backing of warlock clans are even more disdainful of those level 0 spells. Aina has been here for so long, but it's still the first time she's encountered such a big business. She can get a 1,000th commission from the business. This time's transaction, she and Anya can get 12 magic stones. This naturally made her extremely excited. Yang Feng took out that magic crystal card, inserted it into a box inscribed with bizarre runes, entered the transaction amount and at once crossed off that 11,940 magic stones. Ne's voice became increasingly sweeter as she said, "Do you want to pick up the goods now, or do you want us to help you deliver them tonight?" Yang Feng said, "Deliver them to my room tonight." Ina said softly, "Yes." Yang Feng turned around and left Warlock College Antalia's Apprentice Warlock's comprehensive rating room. Ina looked at Yang Feng's back, her eyes brimming with jealousy and envy. She sighed faintly and said, 100 days, in just 100 days, a person with inferior level 1 soul aptitude promoted to an apprentice warlock. The Steel Lord behind him is really too rich. His life is too good. Annie's beautiful eyes flashed with a hint of unwillingness. She said in a low voice, "Yes. If I had 1% of his resources, promoting to a rank 3 apprentice warlock wouldn't be a problem." The most important reason that restricts the rapid progress of those apprentice warlocks is magic stones. 1 magic stone cost 135 gold coins, and 3 magic stones cost 405 gold coins. This huge sum of money was equivalent to the accumulation of several generations of small nobles like Zhao Jiang. Ina and Annie were from warlock clans, but their clans only gave them 10 magic stones every year. A level 0 spellbook cost 20 magic crystals. A year of hard work might only earn them 1 or 2 level 0 spell tomes. Moreover, once promoted to an apprentice warlock, buying all kinds of knowledge from a teacher would require a huge amount of magic stones. Without magic stones, it would be extremely difficult to advance in the world of warlocks. Ina and Anya were born from a small warlock clan. Level 0 spells basically used the clan's inherited spellbooks. They wouldn't purchase them from Warlock College Antalya. But even if they were so meticulous, the cost of buying all kinds of knowledge still pressured them to the point of being unable to breathe. Warlock College Antalya's outer court students had 10% of them being eliminated every year. The main reason was because they lacked money and were unable to learn all kinds of knowledge. In the inner court, a large number of apprentice warlocks were eliminated every year. The main reason was the lack of magic stones. In the world of warlocks, there was a saying that magic stones aren't omnipotent, but without magic stones, it's absolutely impossible. Yang Feng was wearing an apprentice warlock's robe. As soon as he entered Warlock College Antalya's outer court, he attracted countless gazes. An apprentice warlock appearing in the outer court was a very rare thing. As inner court elites, apprentice warlocks were basically very busy with learning all kinds of knowledge and earning magic stones. Very few people would come to the outer court. That's Steel City's Yang Feng. He actually promoted to an apprentice warlock. How is that possible? Isn't he merely an inferior level 1 spirit aptitude? How could he possibly cultivate so fast? With an inferior level 1 spirit aptitude, how could he possibly cultivate so fast? It hasn't even been 4 months since he joined Warlock College Antalya, yet he was already promoted to an apprentice warlock. In the end, how many precious elixirs did he drink? The Steel Lord really dotes on him. His uncle really dotes on him. Yang Feng had already become a celebrity. There was practically no one in Warlock College Antalya's outer court who didn't know him. Seeing him actually promoted to an apprentice warlock, those outer court students were brimming with envy and jealousy. As long as one wasn't an idiot, then one would understand that for Yang Feng to be able to promote to an apprentice warlock with an inferior level 1 spirit aptitude in such a short period of time, he definitely consumed countless precious elixirs. In fact, a bottle of Blue Mirage was worth more than 5,000 magic stones. Moreover, it was priceless. If it wasn't for consuming a large amount of Blue Mirage, then Yang Feng wouldn't have been able to promote to an apprentice warlock in such a short period of time. While the other students were still struggling for a few magic stones, Yang Feng had already consumed more than 250,000 magic stones worth of elixirs. 250,000 magic stones was enough for a superior level 5 spirit aptitude apprentice warlock to comfortably promote to a level 1 warlock. After consuming such a huge amount of resources, it was very normal for him to promote to an apprentice warlock. Under those envious and jealous gazes, Yang Feng returned to his dormitory. Gars, Bella, Irene and Luke, the 4 people after receiving the news, immediately rushed to Yang Feng's dormitory. Gar's gaze was complex as he stared at Yang Feng. His heart was filled with mixed feelings as he congratulated Yang Feng. Congratulations on promoting to an apprentice warlock and becoming an inner court elite. Bella and the other two stared at Yang Feng with gazes brimming with complex emotions. A super good-for-nothing with an inferior level 1 spirit aptitude, his aptitude was more than 100 times worse than theirs. For such a good-for-nothing's cultivation speed to be so far ahead of theirs, the only possibility was that he had consumed the best elixirs. Yang Feng asked, "What about Leo?" Gars said lightly, "He's dead. During an adventure, he died under the curse of a freak." Bella and the other two's eyes flashed with a touch of gloom. Warlock College Antalia's tuition fee was very high. All kinds of knowledge required a large amount of gold coins to purchase. A lot of lesser aristocrats simply couldn't afford such a high tuition fee. They could only participate in some dangerous adventures to earn gold coins. That high tuition fee was like a natural barrier, blocking a lot of commoners as well as a lot of lesser aristocrats from entering the warlock's path. If Yang Feng had holed up in Autumn Leaf Town, then he wouldn't be able to step on the warlock's path for the rest of his life. Chapter 55. After the small celebration banquet, Yang Feng went to the study, took out the book Soul Aptitude and the Warlock Path's Choice, and carefully studied it. The more he studied, the heavier Yang Feng's complexion became. After a long time, Yang Feng's complexion was gloomy. He put down the book and slowly sighed. It turns out that if one's soul aptitude is unable to reach inferior level 4, then one can't promote to an official level 1 warlock through Orthodox Warlock's secret method. Orthodox Warlock's secret method was to continuously strengthen one's physical constitution and improve one's spirit force during the apprentice warlock stage. When his physical quality reached the limit of what he could bear, he would use a secret method to condense his soul power and form a sea of spiritual force with a soul seed as the core in his sea of consciousness. Then he would solidify a level 1 spell in the sea of spiritual force, turning it into an innate spell that he could instantly cast. Once the sea of spirit force with the soul seed as the core takes shape, an apprentice warlock will become an official warlock. Their soul will continuously grow under the nourishment of the sea of spirit force. After strengthening their soul force, warlocks can continue to strengthen their physical constitution through various means, strengthen their lifespan, and continuously transform into extraordinary life forms. Tyrannid subcontinent's warlocks and wizards of other planes were different. Their fleshly bodies were also incomparably formidable, comparable to many extraordinary life forms. So long as one is promoted to a level 1 warlock, even if they don't use any defensive spells, pistol bullets simply won't be able to penetrate their bodies. The fleshly bodies of those pinnacle level 1 warlocks were continuously strengthened to the point that even rifle bullets couldn't penetrate them. The reason why those formidable level 1 warlocks and level 2 warlocks were killed by Yang Feng was because his mechanical legion was too large and too powerful. The soul force of a lower rank 4 soul aptitude was too weak. Their soul was unable to condense into a soul seed. Once it was forcefully condensed, only death awaited them. Yang Feng said in a deep voice, A 3796, immediately analyze to what extent can my soul aptitude increase to after using mermaid tears. Begin modeling. Analyze. The result will be out in 10 seconds. Analysis complete. Master, you can use the mermaid's tears potion to raise your soul aptitude to upper rank 3. Yang Feng creased his eyebrows and said in a low voice, Superior level 3? How's the analysis of Fei Duishan's Banshee's tears? Can you synthesize it? Current analysis progress is 24.5%. It can't be synthesized. Yang Feng creased his eyebrows and thought silently, Blue Mirage, Mermaid Tears, these are relatively the most common elixirs capable of promoting one's soul aptitude in Tyrannid subcontinent. Apart from that, there was no easy potion that could increase the aptitude of the soul. In that case, don't tell me I have to take the path of a Blood Meridian warlock? The Orthodox warlock path rejects a lot of people with insufficient soul aptitudes outside of the warlock path. Before the second warlock dynasty, the entire origin world only had Orthodox warlocks. the founder of the Second Warlock dynasty, the Taboo Great Emperor, was a person whose soul aptitude was merely inferior level 3. When he was weak, the Second Warlock dynasty's Taboo Great Emperor exchanged knowledge with a formidable being from another plane and transplanted a formidable variant blood meridians, breaking the myth that people with insufficient soul aptitudes couldn't promote to warlocks. The Taboo Great Emperor strengthened step by step through countless taboo experiments, and finally founded the Second Warlock dynasty. Since the time of the Great Taboo Emperor, the Blood Meridian Warlock path became popular and became one of the two mainstream warlock paths. Apart from the Orthodox Warlock and the Blood Meridian Warlock, there were still other paths to promote to an official warlock. For example, carrying out a transaction with a formidable being from another plane, such as a devil, a fiend, or a god, and then having the other party forcibly promote their soul aptitude and promote to a warlock in one fell swoop. However, that method would most likely turn you into the other party's puppet. Moreover, there were many repercussions. Yang Feng only looked at it for a moment, and then chose to give up. The Blood Meridian Warlock path wasn't that easy to tread. In order to become a Blood Meridian Warlock, the first step was to possess a formidable life form's Blood Meridians. In order to become a Dragon Meridian Warlock, then one would have to slaughter 3 dragons and extract their blood essence, then use all kinds of incomparably precious materials to go through countless refinements. Only then would one be able to refine a tube of transplantable dragon's blood meridian's essence. The second step required a cultivation secret method that was compatible with the blood meridians. Without a secret method, even if one had the blood meridian's essence, it would still be useless. However, once one became a Blood Meridian Warlock, one's cultivation speed would advance by leaps and bounds, and one would practically not encounter any bottlenecks during cultivation until the evolution potential of the Blood Meridian life form was exhausted. A white dragon would generally possess great warlock rank battle prowess after reaching adulthood. If one extracted the blood meridians of a white dragon and transplanted it, then once the evolution potential of a white dragon blood meridian warlock reached great warlock, then the potential would be exhausted, and one would no longer be able to advance by even an inch. Yang Feng silently thought, if one doesn't have the blood meridians of a first-rate life form, then even if one obtained a cultivation secret method, it would still be useless. No wonder Blitz would so easily agree to let me choose a secret method that can be cultivated until Great Warlock rank. Even if I obtained a secret method, it would still be useless, unless I'm willing to merely become a level 1 or level 2 Warlock, and casually hunt some extraordinary life forms comparable to level 2 Warlocks and extract their blood meridians. After truly setting foot on the Warlock path, only then did Yang Feng discover how important talent was. His inferior level 1 soul aptitude was truly too terrible. If he originally possessed superior level 3 soul aptitude, then he wouldn't need to worry about his soul aptitude. Warlock College Antalya only accepted students with level 4 or higher soul aptitude. That's because only students with level 4 or higher soul aptitude had the possibility of becoming level 1 warlocks. Only then would they be worth nurturing. In Tyrannid subcontinent, the other small forces would accept some students with level 2 or level 3 soul aptitude and nurture them into apprentice warlocks, then use them to do odd jobs and so on, basically not being valued. Early the next morning, a series of knocking sounds came from outside Yang Feng's dormitory. "It's you?" Yang Feng opened the door and discovered that it was precisely Anya standing outside the door. Anya said with a slight smile, "Hello, Yang Feng, I'm Anya. You're the inner court's guide." Yang Feng said with a courteous smile, "Then I'll have to trouble you." Warlock College Antalya's inner court was the place where apprentice warlocks as well as many official warlocks resided. There were many taboos. After every outer court student promoted to an apprentice warlock, an old inner court student would be dispatched to greet the new inner court student. At the junction between Warlock College Antalya's inner court and outer court, there was a gate. In front of the gate was a huge wolf-shaped boulder. Anya arrived before the huge wolf-shaped boulder and said respectfully, "Hello, Delenk Darren. This is Yang Feng who has just promoted to an apprentice warlock." Chapter 56. that huge wolf-shaped boulder opened its eyes. That pair of white stone ball-like eyes swept Yang Feng with a glance, then continued to lie down and said coldly, "I've already remembered the scent of his soul, take him inside." Extraordinary Life Form Stone Clan's Moloch Wolf. That was the scientific name of that huge wolf-shaped boulder. This extraordinary life form's main body was an extremely high-quality boulder. Regardless of whether it was magic resistance or physical resistance, both were extremely terrifying. Adult Moloch wolves possessed terrifying battle prowess comparable to that of a pinnacle level 3 warlock. Moreover, they possessed a formidable racial innate skill, being able to smell the scent of anyone's soul. In the world of warlocks, there were a variety of strange spells capable of changing, distorting, and concealing one's true appearance. But the scent of the soul couldn't be changed. Apart from some special experts, even great warlock rank experts' perception regarding the scent of the soul couldn't compare to that of a Moloch wolf. With this Moloch wolf standing guard in front of the gate, it would be extremely difficult for anyone to change their appearance and sneak into Warlock College Antalia's inner court. Yang Feng bowed slightly towards that Moloch wolf in salute. "I've seen Dalemko Darren." The lifespan of humans was very short. An official level, one human warlock had a lifespan of approximately 200 to 300 years. A level 2 warlock had a lifespan of approximately 300 to 400 years. A level 3 warlock had a lifespan of 400 to 500 years. Only great warlocks had a lifespan of more than 1,000 years. But the extraordinary life form Moloch wolf needed more than 400 years to reach adulthood, their lifespan even more reaching up to several thousand years. This adult Moloch wolf was also a formidable extraordinary life form with wisdom. Its status in Warlock College Antalya was extremely high, even comparable to a member of the Council of Elders. Yang Feng didn't dare to be disrespectful towards such an extraordinary life form. Dalemko didn't budge, as if an ordinary stone statue, there was no movement. Anya brought Yang Feng through the gate separating the outer court and the inner court, directly entering the inner court. Once he entered the inner court, Yang Feng felt a formidable elemental particle by far surpassing that of the outer court pervading the space. After these days of diligent study, Yang Feng already understood the fundamental principles of warlock cultivation. Warlock cultivation was to use special methods to absorb all kinds of wandering elemental particles to strengthen their physical constitution and nourish their soul force. Soul power was a transcendent life form's most fundamental source of power. If one's soul power couldn't be improved, their body wouldn't be able to continue evolving. The most crucial step for an apprentice warlock to promote to an official warlock is to condense a soul seed, then use the soul seed as the core to open up a spirit force seed, break through the limits of the human body, and evolve towards an extraordinary life form. Only then can one solidify a level 1 innate spell in their spirit force seed. The powerful elemental particles were very beneficial for strengthening the body and nourishing the soul. In the inner court, Warlock College Antalya used all kinds of extraordinary methods to gather extremely rich elemental particles. Cultivating in such an environment was dozens of times faster than cultivating in the outer court. There was a 3-storied Warlock Pagoda in Black Cottage. Inside the 3-storied Warlock Pagoda, only the elemental pool and the core cultivation room had elemental particles that were slightly better than the inner court's environment. As expected of one of the 6 sacred cultivation grounds of Tyrannid subcontinent, it really deserves its reputation. Yang Feng slightly operated magic notes tighten and felt a formidable energy particle enter his body, making him feel very comfortable. In Warlock College Antalya's inner court, there were Warlock Pagodas one after another. Each Warlock Pagoda was at least 4-storied in height. The construction cost of a Warlock Pagoda was extremely expensive. Generally, some small Warlock clans simply couldn't afford to build a Warlock Pagoda. Black Cottage's Warlock Pagoda was also established after spending several generations of time and money. Moreover, it was still a 3-storied Warlock Pagoda. It simply couldn't compare to Warlock College Antalya's Warlock Pagoda. Yang Feng roughly counted and discovered that the number of Warlock Pagodas reached as high as several hundred. Those several hundred Warlock Pagodas vaguely formed a mysterious formation, surrounding and protecting the 9 7-storied Warlock pagodas. At the core of the Warlock pagodas, there was a huge energy-absorbing ancient tree reaching into the sky. One could vaguely see rays of light flickering on the branches of the energy-absorbing ancient tree. Warlock College Antalya certainly has precious elixirs capable of promoting one's soul aptitude. However, such precious elixirs are certainly few in number. Moreover, they can only be grasped by level 3 warlocks or great warlocks. Unless I can capture Warlock College Antalya, otherwise, I simply can't get my hands on them. Inside a Warlock pagoda, warlocks can basically resist enemies one rank higher than them. If Warlock College Antalya's great warlocks were to stand guard within the college, then my Mechanical Legion's odds of success would be too low. Unless my forces can expand by several tens of times. Yang Feng's eyebrows creased tightly as he calculated within his mind. Yang Feng had already gone all out to develop the mineral resources within his territory. Under his crazy mining, Blackrock Town's mineral resources had already started to dry up. On one hand, he was sizing up and purchasing iron, or, on the other hand, he was looking for new mineral resources within his territory. Even so, the raw materials in his hands were already far from being able to satisfy his production capacity. The amount of Yang Feng's Mechanical Legion within his territory was already very large, but he still didn't have any certainty in defeating Warlock College Antalya. The more he cultivated the Warlock path, the more he could feel the strength of a high-level warlock. Yang Feng sighed slightly within. What a pity, now the territories already have a master. Moreover, they all have the shadow of a great warlock behind them. Wanting to expand is too difficult. In Tyrannid subcontinent, every place had a master, even though those places were controlled by some warlock clans or small forces. But they all had the shadow of a great warlock behind them. After Yang Feng captured Steel City, it was already his limit. Warlock College Antalya had already started to suppress his expansion. Unless he was willing to attack Savage Claw's territory, otherwise, it would be very difficult for him to expand. Savage Claw was a formidable force that was slightly more powerful than Warlock College Antalya. He wasn't willing to carelessly provoke such a terrifying existence. Yang Feng silently calculated within. Tyrannid subcontinent's fertile places have already been occupied. I can think of a way to look for some desolate areas to occupy. Solar energy, hydroelectric power, thermal power, wind power, and even nuclear power can be utilized. However, I have to complete my warlock studies before I can carry them out. In NR 3790 SIXS technology tree, nuclear power wasn't considered to be too advanced technology. At present, it was already possible to manufacture large-scale nuclear power plants. However, in order to manufacture a large-scale nuclear power plant, it still required a series of prerequisites, such as a heavy water refinery. At present, all kinds of prerequisites were being constructed within Yang Feng's territory. He only needed another year, then Yang Feng could manufacture a large-scale nuclear power plant, as well as officially produce weapons of mass destruction such as nuclear warheads. Chapter 57. Anya gave Yang Feng a detailed explanation regarding the various taboos of Warlock College Antalya's inner court, while bringing Yang Feng inside a Warlock pagoda. Anya lightly knocked on a door and said, "Teacher Eunice, I've brought Yang Feng. Come in." The door opened and a voice brimming with magnetism sounded. Yang Feng stepped into the room, then saw the peerlessly beautiful Eunice wearing a blue low-cut chongpao, incomparably languidly leaning on a sofa padded with a white tiger skin. Her slender and beautiful legs extended from within the chongpao, reflecting a beautiful luster. She was holding a book in her hands and was casually flipping through it. A beautiful elf clan young lady with a pair of pointy ears, fair skin, a sexy figure and an extremely beautiful appearance was currently massaging Eunice's calf. Elf. A sweet fragrance came from within the room, coupled with the room's alluring and beautiful scenery, making Yang Feng's heart slightly moved. He immediately shifted his gaze and lowered his head, not daring to look towards Eunice's direction. This was Warlock College Antalya's headquarters. If Yang Feng made any unusual movements, then Eunice could casually slap him. this little level 1 apprentice warlock, to death. The name of Steel Lord could intimidate and threaten a small warlock clan like Sanger clan, but it was useless against a colossus like Warlock College Antalya. Elves, this life form, weren't indigenous to Tyrannid subcontinent, but rather a species that warlocks had captured from other planes. After continuous indiscriminate hunting, the number of purebred elves was already very scarce. Once they appeared, they would basically become the playthings of bigwigs. Eunice actually had a purebred elf here. Her strength by far surpassed that of an ordinary level 1 warlock. Eunice used that somewhat bewitching gaze to sweep Yang Feng with a glance, then lightly smiled. Yang Feng. So it's you. It seems like Steel City's Yang Yi is truly sparing no effort towards you, his only blood relative, to actually use Blue Mirage Elixir to push you into an apprentice warlock. Yang Feng heard Eunice's bewitching and sweet laughter. His blood unconsciously boiled. The flames of lust welled up. He was practically unable to control himself. At this moment, the level 1 secret treasure green heart in Yang Feng's bosom released a cool and refreshing force that entered his body, directly suppressing the flames of lust within him, allowing him to return to normal. Is this a charm spell? Or is it the power of charm inherent in her blood meridians? Yang Feng regained his reason. Cold sweat flowed down his back, completely drenching his clothes. He could imagine that once he lost his mind to his desires and did something irrational, only death awaited him. Yang Feng's eyebrows creased slightly, his heart shivering, somewhat puzzled. What's going on? I've never offended her. Why would she have so much malice towards me? Eunice swept the green heart on Yang Feng's neck with a glance. Her eyebrows creased slightly. She took out 2 crystal balls and said somewhat coldly, "Every student that enters the inner court has a chance to obtain free knowledge. This was my expertise in mutated biology and extraordinary botany. Choose one." Yang Feng creased his eyebrows again. Variant biology and extraordinary botany, these 2 subjects were too high-end for apprentice warlocks. For an apprentice warlock, the best subjects are spell principles and level 0 spell model analysis, these 2 basic subjects. Mutated life forms and extraordinary plants, these were existences that only official warlocks had the qualifications to study. The majority of those mutated life forms and extraordinary plants had the terrifying strength of official warlocks. Only official warlocks could subdue and study those freaks. Yang Feng's thoughts revolved lightning fast and he made a choice. I choose extraordinary botany. Peak alchemical elixirs involved a lot of precious extraordinary plants. Extraordinary botany was also one of the prerequisite subjects for intermediate alchemy. Blue Mirage and Mermaid Tears, these kinds of peak alchemical elixirs could only be refined by warlocks that had grasped intermediate alchemy. Eunice flicked her finger, a crystal ball directly shattered. A plant-like green smoke flew out from the crystal ball and directly entered the space between Yang Feng's eyebrows. Countless information, countless data turned into an incomparably huge information stream that fiercely assaulted Yang Feng's brain. That huge amount of information nearly crashed his brain, making him fall to the ground. He struggled in pain and couldn't help but issue bursts of anguished howls. Giggle. Eunice looked at Yang Feng, who had fallen to the ground and was struggling in pain. She issued a delightful and bewitching laugh. At the same time she reached into the elven clothes beside her and started to fiddle with them. That beautiful elf also issued bursts of moans that could make people blush and their hearts palpitate. I'm going to be played to death by this crazy woman. Yang Feng endured the sharp pain in his head and at once crushed a piece of wood in his pocket. Wisps of black smoke rose from the piece of wood, condensing into an owl that emanated powerful energy fluctuations in the void. That owl's eyes swept Yang Feng, who was rolling on the ground in pain, with a glance. It opened its mouth and spat out Euterax's voice. Eunice, did this youngster violate the rules of the academy and offend you? Eunice put away her careless look and said lightly, I was just teasing him. Euterax, are you this youngster's nanny? Euterax said coldly, his uncle Yang Yi is a good friend of mine. I don't want to see such a thing happen a second time. Eunice had a provocative expression on her face as she sneered, so what if it happens a second time? He's just a waste without any aptitude for becoming a warlock. Even if it's his uncle, he's just a waste hovering around the pinnacle level 1 warlock. That's all. Eudirax said lightly, if you do that again next time, I'll complain to the Council of Elders about everything here and have your share of resources reduced. Eunice's eyebrows creased slightly. She waved her lily-white hand and at once a strange fluctuation of power shrouded Yang Feng. Yang Feng's severe headache was alleviated. He clenched his teeth and stood up. Eunice's beautiful eyes flashed with a touch of a cold glint. She waved her hand and said, "Scram." Yang Feng resisted his hatred, slightly bowed towards Eunice in salute and then left. A trifling level 1 apprentice warlock in front of an official warlock was still like an ant. How did you offend your teacher? Once he left Eunice's warlock pagoda, the owl possessed by Eudirax opened its mouth and asked. Yang Feng said with a bitter smile, I also don't know. In Warlock College Antalya, apart from the time when he entered the school, Yang Feng flipped out. The rest of the time, he honestly and unceasingly studied all kinds of knowledge. He and Eunice practically didn't have any interactions. He also couldn't understand why this woman would target him. That woman isn't simple, don't provoke her again, otherwise I won't be able to protect you. You still have one more chance to get my help, pay attention. The owl possessed by Eudirax warned Yang Feng, then gradually collapsed and turned into ashes. Chapter 58. This vicious woman, sooner or later I'll make you pay the price for today's matter. Yang Feng gave Eudirax's warlock pagoda a deep glance. His eyes flashed with a touch of coldness, then he turned around and left. After joining the inner court, Yang Feng was busy learning all kinds of knowledge every day. Every day in the inner court, there would be some official warlocks who would come to give some free basic public lectures. The most precious knowledge required a large amount of magic stones to be traded. A lot of inner court students, in order to obtain knowledge, would go around doing missions in exchange for some magic stones to exchange for knowledge and cultivation resources. Yang Feng had the support of Steel City's wealth. He basically had no shortage of magic stones. Every day, he hungrily studied and digested all kinds of knowledge. He was very clear that his talent was far inferior to that of Tyrannid subcontinent's geniuses, even with the help of the super-intelligent robot NR 3796, he still needed to work very hard to be able to catch up to those geniuses. Time passed, a year passed in a flash. Within a practice room, Yang Feng opened his eyes and said in a deep voice, "Scan my body's constitution." Initiating scan. Yang Feng, basic attributes, strength 8. 1. Agility 8. 5. Physique 8. 7. Spirit 9. 2. Blood meridians, Earth's waste. Soul aptitude, superior level 3. General evaluation, classified as a level 6 life form, evolution potential exhausted. Warning: the host's body's constitution has reached its limit. Continuing to take dragon blood, such a high-energy body-strengthening elixir will instead cause harm to the body. Yang Feng creased his eyebrows and gave a wry smile. Sure enough, even a top-notch elixir like dragon blood is still unable to upgrade my body's constitution. In this year, Yang Feng continuously took dragon blood, mermaid tears, such incomparably precious elixirs, advancing all the way, even surpassing Jessica, such a genius with a superior level 6 soul aptitude, directly promoting to a level 3 apprentice warlock. However, his evolution path had already been severed. Ordinary resources and elixirs were basically unable to promote him to an official level 1 warlock. Yang Feng casually grabbed a piece of iron and pinched it, directly twisting it out of shape. The corners of his mouth curved slightly, revealing a trace of a smile. However, my current body's constitution has already far surpassed the past. Even if he doesn't use any magic, he can casually kill a knight-level powerhouse with a single punch. When he had just crossed over to Tyrannid subcontinent, Yang Feng's body couldn't even beat a peasant. But now, his physical fitness was more than 10 times stronger than before. His combat power had also increased by more than 100 times. Along with the continuous improvement of his physical constitution, Yang Feng's learning ability also grew crazily. He could clearly feel that his learning ability had increased by more than 10 times. Along the path of evolution of warlocks, along with their continuous evolution, their understanding would also constantly increase. Every time they advanced to a higher realm, their physical qualities, learning abilities, and other comprehensive abilities would undergo a huge transformation. The two sides were on completely different levels of life. It was precisely because of this that it was very difficult for a warlock with a lower realm to defeat a warlock with a higher realm. At this moment, a robot standing at the side said in a synthesized voice, "Master, Ina and Annie request an audience." Yang Feng said lightly, "Have them wait for me in the reception room." Yang Feng went to the bathroom to take a hot bath, changed his clothes and then walked towards the direction of the living room. When Annie and Irene saw Yang Feng, they felt the formidable life force pervading his body. That formidable life force completely suppressed their own life force. At once, they understood that he had already promoted to a level 3 apprentice warlock. Annie's beautiful eyes flashed with a whiff of a complex color, her voice carried a trace of jealousy. "Yang Feng, congratulations on promoting to a level 3 apprentice warlock." Irene's eyes also flashed with a whiff of jealousy, but she flattered, "So amazing! Yang Feng, your rate of progress is really amazing. In your batch, your rate of progress is the fastest." A year ago, Annie and Irene were already level 2 apprentice warlocks. A year later, they were still level 2 apprentice warlocks. Their progress was extremely small. Yang Feng smiled slightly and said modestly, "I was just lucky." The various resources Yang Feng spent this year, if converted into magic stones, would be enough to let a level 1 apprentice warlock with a superior level 4 soul aptitude promote to an official level 1 warlock. His promotion to a level 3 apprentice warlock was also a matter of course. Annie had a solemn expression as she said in a deep voice, "Yang Feng, have you heard of golden blood?" Yang Feng was slightly stunned, his gaze congealed and he said in a deep voice, "Golden blood? Don't tell me it's the Aurum clan's blood essence that can purify souls and upgrade soul aptitude?" Aurum clan was a race discovered by the founder of the second warlock dynasty, Taboo Lord, when he was colonizing a different plane. The Aurum clan's blood essence had the mysterious power to purify souls and upgrade a cultivator's soul aptitude. Taboo Lord practically massacred the Aurum clan's experts, extracting their blood essence to substantially upgrade his soul aptitude. Only then did he break the curse of his low soul aptitude. He advanced by leaps and bounds on the warlock path, and finally became the founder of the second warlock dynasty, as well as one of the 10 strongest people in the history of this plane. The Aurum clan's blood essence had such a miraculous effect, it naturally attracted the covetous gazes of countless warlocks. After a long time, the Aurum clan had basically been massacred. The remaining Aurum clan also left their original planes one after another, scattering and hiding in various planes, becoming existences that could only be encountered by chance and not sought after. In Tyrannid subcontinent, only a single vial of golden blood had appeared in an auction house in the last several millennia. The preciousness of golden blood could be imagined. It was a treasure that even existences above great warlock rank would go crazy for. That's right, it's the legendary golden blood. Anya nodded and continued. When I was traveling in the obscure mountain range, I obtained information about a relic. That relic is the headquarters of an intermediate warlock organization, Gloom Cave, of the Third Warlock Dynasty. The golden blood that was auctioned in Tyrannid subcontinent previously came from a relic of Gloom Cave. There's a great possibility that Gloom Cave's headquarters still has golden blood. After all, although golden blood was precious in the era of the Third Warlock Dynasty, but it wasn't as rare as it was in the modern era. Yang Feng's eyebrows creased slightly as he said in a deep voice, "The relic of Gloom Cave's headquarters? Such a place is extremely dangerous. It's not a place that apprentice warlocks like us can explore." Level 3 warlocks and above, every single one of them was an extremely terrifying, extraordinary life form. As long as they didn't control it, just a little bit of their life force would leak out and combine with the rich energy particles, then it would form a variety of strange phenomena and some strange and difficult to understand existences. If an ordinary person dared to enter a place where level 3 warlocks and above resided, then they would definitely die. Gloom Cave was an intermediate organization of the 3rd Warlock dynasty. It definitely had a great warlock or even an expert keeping watch. Such a relic was definitely extremely dangerous. It wasn't a place that ordinary apprentice warlocks could explore. Even if a level 1 warlock entered, it would also be extremely dangerous. Chapter 59. A scorching light flashed in Annie's eyes as she said, "The location of the Gloom Cave's headquarters is naturally not something we can explore. However, as long as we explore the periphery, the resources we obtain will be enough to promote us to warlocks." Yang Feng contemplated for a while. A peculiar glint flickered in the abyss of his eyes, and he said with a light smile, "Okay, I'll participate." Anya said, "Yang Feng, since you agreed to join us in the exploration." In that case, he was not allowed to tell anyone else about this information. Not even your uncle Yang Yi. Otherwise, if an official warlock were to participate in the exploration, we wouldn't be able to enjoy the resources inside. Yang Feng creased his eyebrows slightly and sank into his thoughts. Aaron hurriedly said, "It won't be too late to tell your uncle about the ruins after we've explored it. In any case, after this time, we will also tell our teachers about the ruins." Yang Feng's eyes flashed with a touch of a peculiar glint and he said, "All right, I won't tell my uncle about this." After discussing the details for a while, Annie and Nana left. "Has it finally begun? They're really concerned about me." Yang Feng looked at the backs of the two women leaving, his eyes gradually becoming frigid, and he said in a low voice, "Looks like I have to make early preparations." Yang Feng quickly arrived at the inner courts trading hall. 5 magic stones for a kilogram of searing steel. Looking for necromancy ink for 20 magic stones. Selling my optimized level 0 cantrip model for 10 magic stones. I'll explain the theory behind a level 0 cantrip for 5 magic crystals. In the inner courts trading hall, there was a lot of trading information pasted in a corner. In the center of the transaction hall, dressed in an apprentice warlock's robe, with a sexy figure and a rather gorgeous appearance, a blonde beauty of approximately 31 or 32 years of age sat there. Yang Feng directly went in front of that gorgeous beauty and said lightly, "I want to buy level 1 spell models. How many level 1 spell models are there?" That blonde beauty gave Yang Feng a glance. Her eyes flashed with a whiff of jealousy and envy. She said softly, "Level 1 spell model. 8,000 magic stones for a basic spell model. At present, there are 282 level 1 spell models here." So expensive. Yang Feng immediately inhaled a mouthful of cold air. So many level 1 spell models, worthy of Warlock College Antalya. Currently, Steel City's annual income was only 3,000 magic crystals. A level 1 spell model cost 8,000 magic stones. This huge sum of money gave the rich and imposing Yang Feng a headache. In these 2 years, Yang Feng had already spent 100,000 magic stones of Fernandro clan's compensation of 300,000. After all, even if NR 3796 were to directly synthesize Blue Mirage, Mermaid Tears, Dragon Blood, and other alchemy potions, he would still need to purchase a lot of precious materials. Rank 1 spell models were also extremely precious. There were only 15 rank 1 spell models in the entire Black Cottage. Warlock College Antalya's level 1 spell models reached as high as 282. Black Cottage simply couldn't be mentioned in the same breath. Practically any level 1 warlock can find their desired level 1 spell model in Warlock College Antalya. Of course, 8,000 magic stones was also a huge sum of money for an official level 1 warlock. An ordinary level 3 apprentice warlocks simply couldn't come up with such a huge sum of money to buy a level 1 spell model. However, once Warlock College Antalya's inner court students were promoted to level 3 apprentice disciples, then warlock clans would come to recruit them. Warlock College Antalya would also provide loan contracts for those level 3 apprentice warlock students to choose from. Warlock College Entalia was able to accumulate such a huge amount of wealth and cultivate several great warlock rank experts by relying on all kinds of methods. Yang Feng silently analyzed, I have a mechanical legion, I don't need to worry about attack power. What I'm currently lacking the most are defensive spells. Especially defensive spells that resist curses, ghosts, and incomprehensible strange phenomena. Yang Feng said, let me take a look at the introduction of the defensive level 1 spell model. That blonde beauty flicked her finger. A radiance shot out from a rhombus-shaped crystal on the table, forming a 3D project, like introduction in the air. Level 1 spell warping force field. A warping force field is formed around the body, resisting physical and magical attacks. The degree of resistance to physical and magical attacks is medium. Level 1 spell steel skin. The surface of the body is transformed into steel skin. High-grade physical resistance, low-grade magical resistance. Level 1 spell partial zombification. The surface of the body is zombified. High-grade physical resistance, low-grade magical resistance. Level 1 spell flame ring. A circle of magic flames is formed around the body. Low-grade physical resistance, medium-grade magical resistance, high-grade fire spell resistance. One after another, defensive spells appeared before Yang Feng's eyes. He silently used his glasses to record the introductions of those level 1 defensive spells into his database. Yang Feng casually tossed a magic stone into the blonde beauty's hand. Let me take a look at the introductions of the other offensive spells. This is your tip. That blonde beauty's eyes flashed with a whiff of delight. She flicked her finger and a radiance entered that rhombus-shaped crystal. That rhombus-shaped crystal flashed with radiance. The introductions of all kinds of level 1 spells appeared before Yang Feng's eyes and were recorded into his database one by one. Yang Feng quickly picked out 20 spell models. I want 20 level 1 spell models. Warping force field, prophetic perception, prophetic interference, holy dispel, magic eye, fireball, gale revolving, minor heal, dark fog, poison dispel, elementary summon, flame ring, flame resistance, brute force, spirit eye, shadow hand, frost, stone to mud, rock armor, lightning burst. That blonde beauty was startled. Her smile became even sweeter and sweeter. A total of 160,000 magic stones. Ordinary apprentice warlocks would hesitate again and again before clenching their teeth and buying a level 1 spell model. Yang Feng now bought 20 level 1 spell models in one go. He was simply a super big customer. That blonde beauty could also get a 1,000th commission from this transaction, that is 160 magic stones. Yang Feng took out his magic crystal card and swiped 160,000 magic stones. This is a knowledge crystal. Inside it are recorded the 20 spell models that you have chosen. That blonde beauty gave a sweet smile, handed a red crystal to Yang Feng, simultaneously gave him a coquettish look, extended her hand and lightly scratched his palm, stuffed a slip of paper into his hand and gave an ambiguous smile. My name is Emma. This is the address of my room. Come and play when you have time. Tarandat subcontinent's atmosphere was relatively open. Many aristocratic youngsters at the age of 13 or 14 would have their first experience with their mates. If aristocratic young ladies were to marry, then their lifestyle would be slightly better, but after marriage, the number of aristocratic ladies who were unrestrained wasn't small. In Warlock College Entalia, the matter of female apprentice warlocks exchanging their bodies for resources was also not uncommon. For Emma to be able to sit in this comfortable position, she obviously paid a lot of price. Yang Feng put that slip of paper into his pocket, gave Emma a slight smile, then turned around and left the hall. Welcome to Legends of Cultivation, audiobooks, where we bring ancient fantasy to life through storytelling. Follow the rise of heroes who defy fate, unlock mystical powers, and battle across celestial realms. Our audiobooks are crafted for fans of Chinese cultivation novels, filled with battles, breakthroughs, and legendary artifacts. Subscribe and be part of an unforgettable journey into the realm of immortality.